You're listening to Golden River Underground, Session 4. This is a Delta Green campaign, which is a heavily modified adaptation of Music from a Darkened Room by Dennis Detweiler. Check out Table Talk 3.5, where we went over some completely unimportant discussion points prior to the session. Please leave us a comment somewhere to give us some much-needed feedback. Otherwise, enjoy the show.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Session 4 of Golden River Underground, the late afternoon gaming Delta Green campaign.
Alright, Jack, I think it's your turn for the summary.
We dug into the diary that we found in the inside the bedside table that we found in the house that detailed some of the history of the house. It was built in 1907 by Michael Wheeler, who had married Isabel Knott in 1905. We learned that a woman named Adele DiVitello was at one point hired by Isabel, who was a sort of wealthy socialite. She was initially hired to resew drapes, but she over time started to spend more and more time at the house. People in the neighborhood did not like her. They called her the crone. She had previously been fired from the sanitarium for witchcraft. She eventually got to the point where she was just living at the house. Isabel, who had been pretty ill for a while, in 1926, just mysteriously became cured. We learned that Adele was a witch. She had been fired for witchcraft. It turns out that, at least per the diary, was accurate. She was involved with a lot of rituals. She had a pact with the Dark Man. There were a lot of descriptions of rituals where you could sacrifice animals to maybe summon him, or sacrifice a human to definitely summon him. And that, in theory, had to do with her long life. Apparently she was very old. So we have, evidence of occult happenings, or at the very least evidence that that people believed there were occult happenings going on. So Simon and Tim had kind of a split where, as far as Simon was concerned, once we found the diary, once we found what was in the storage unit, we found the body of Anton Ture. We found all the guns in the storage unit. We found just a lot of suspicious stuff in the apartment building. Arthur was willing to write it off as Arthur just being crazy, and the diary just being more craziness. Tim was not willing to do that, and decided that he was going to go back to the house and try to figure out what was actually happening here. Simon said no, and he's going to walk away from that. However, he started to learn some troubling things about the evidence that we had acquired. The storage unit had been, after we left, raided by people who were at least claiming to be police officers. They showed up in a van. They took a lot of the really incriminating stuff, like the coffin, the weapons with the serial numbers filed off. And when Simon went back to investigate the apartment, kind of a similar situation. The video feed had been cut. A lot of the incriminating stuff there was also gone. And so, while he may have thought at the beginning that things had kind of a nice ribbon on them, it looks like there are other forces at play here that are trying to cover it up, and there's now, at least from his perspective, additional evidence that there's more to look into here. So, when the session ended, we had, Simon had just learned that these new guys were involved and had gone to the apartment and seen for himself that that crime scene had also been tampered with. And Tim was getting ready to spend the night in the house. On a more personal life note, Tim also has and I'm still not sure how I'm going to deal with this, but he's going to run into work-life balance issues where they got the day off when Arthur died, but he is now sort of expected back at the office. He is not in a state mentally where he's willing to do that yet. He's kind of all in on this investigation, what happened. But his acting supervisor is saying, like, hey, when are you going to be back? There's stuff for you to do. You have responsibilities. You can't just blow them off. So we'll be handling that moving forward. I think those are the high points.
Yeah, very good summary. Shepard, anything to add?
Not really.
Okay. So I think that puts us at the evening of Tuesday, October 3rd, 1995. Do you guys agree?
I do agree.
That works for me.
Okay, so let's start with Simon.
Okay.
So it is, right now, it's about sunset, and you'd gotten the news about the what had happened at the storage facility. You'd gone over to the apartment. You've checked that out, and so now you are standing in Arthur Donnelly's old apartment. You've just gotten off the phone with Sergeant Dean, I guess you got off the phone a while ago with Sergeant Dean. You've just gotten done checking the apartment. What is your next move?
And so just to summarize, the video is gone. Presumably, there's
Yeah,
there's
so let me
nothing.
describe that again. So previously, when you'd been in the apartment, you'd seen a combination of incriminating things and then just like strange things that indicated paranoia. Right now, what's different is the incriminating elements have been removed. So the unregistered firearms are gone. The ammunition is gone. The uniforms that he had, things like coveralls, baseball caps, IDs, passports, driver's licenses, all that stuff is gone. And in the hall closet that's closest to the front door, where he had like a makeshift, he had turned into sort of like a little security office where he had a VCR and a small television where he could review tapes from the camera that look outside his front door. There are now no tapes. So previously there had been what looked like he had been re-recording over the same tape over and over, and then he had some blank ones that were still in plastic, so you knew they hadn't been used. All of that has been removed.
Okay. So what I had requested from the sergeant is that he gets some of the other cops over here to case for prints, just in case. But if there's nothing left to see, then I'm just gonna bounce and head back to the station.
Okay. So by the time, so you put in that call, and you've talked to Dean again, and he assures you that he's gonna bring a group up there to dust for prints and find whatever other evidence they have. Let's say that you crossed paths with him on your way out. So you stuck around and you did a little other investigating of your own, and then eventually you leave, walk down the stairs, and as you're walking out to your car, he pulls up with a couple of other policemen, and they stop you, and Dean tells you, listen, detective, we're going to do what you said, dust for prints, take photographs and everything, but since we don't have any reference before
I know.
the tampering happened. I don't know if you had taken photos last time.
No.
Okay, well...
Yeah, I know we're not going to get much out of it, but we at least got to check for prints.
Yeah, of course. All right, we'll do our best. And he heads up with his guys.
Okay, and I'm going to head back to the station.
Okay, so it's about 8 o'clock now. You head back to the station. What are you up to?
So first I want to go to the evidence clerk.
Sure.
Hey, you still have the evidence for the Donnelly case, right?
So this is the clerk is like a younger dude, and he's sitting there. There's just a cage behind him that you like unlock to go get the stuff, and he looks down a clipboard and he says, "Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we got some stuff there. Are you talking about from the storage container?"
No, I'm talking about the stuff I brought you. So I brought you, I brought evidence a couple things. There were some weird objects from the Spooner house, and then there was a piece of paper with some notes on it, as well as the remains of some photographs.
Oh, well, and he flips a couple of pages and says, yeah, I have that.
Okay, let me see it.
And he takes down your badge number and stuff like that, and then he leaves the desk, walks into the locker, and then comes back with one of those file boxes. And the things that you've described are all inventoried and bagged in the box.
Okay.
He says, do you want to look at them here? We have a table, or are you checking them out?
I don't want to look at them. I don't want to check them out. Here's what I want you to do. And this is going to sound weird, but I need you to do it. So somebody is tampering with this case. The scenes that I've been at, someone else has been running through and grabbing up all the evidence after I leave. Not us. So what I need you to do is you're going to put this in a new box and relabel it with a fake case number and a different name. Just in case someone tries to come through here. I know it's against protocol, but it's also no one's supposed to come steal our evidence.
It is against protocol.
I know it's against protocol.
Yeah, but it's like it's
Someone's
also
been tampering with this case. I need you to tamper with this case.
Yeah, but it's like that's against the rules.
I know it's against the rules
and protocol.
It's against everything. Listen, I need you to do. Listen, all right. You know what? Actually, just give me the evidence.
Make a make a persuade check.
It's gonna be my fault when it gets stolen too.
Yep.
That's a success.
Okay. He says, well, okay. What do you want me to call it?
The name is going to be Bert Jackson. Jackson, Bert.
Jackson,
And-
Bert.
And then just give it some. I don't know how you number the cases, or we do that. Just give it one that looks real.
Okay, well, what do I say happened to this stuff?
Just say that I signed it out.
Okay. It's on you then.
Yep, it's on me. I'm going to take the heat for it anyway, so I'm just trying to protect this and make sure that whoever these people are, if they show up and try and take it, we're not going to make it easy for them.
Yeah, so I'm like trying not to be a clerk anymore.
Okay.
So, if I do like a real good job on this, what do you think?
I don't know. What are you trying to do next?
Motorcycle cop?
Have you taken the exam yet?
Do I have to if I do a good job on this?
Yes. I'm sorry. That's a prereq. You're going to have to do that.
Oh, is that protocol?
I'm afraid so.
And he looks at you and says, all right, whatever.
I mean, I can do my best to put in a good word for you.
And he...
All right. Hey, so another important part of this is don't tell anyone that we've done this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Yeah.
I walk away knowing that this will fail.
Okay. Yeah, so
And
you see him like busting out a new box and applying a label and stuff like that. So as far as you can tell, he's generating the admin to do exactly what you asked him to do.
Sweet. And then I need to go find the chief if he's in.
Okay. Well, the chief, to be a very hardworking man.
Of course.
Whether it's in the station or on the golf course. So you go upstairs and, give me a luck check.
What is it? Odds are good, right?
No. In DG, luck isn't luck like a button on the sheet or?
No.
Yeah.
There is no luck stat.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
what we've been doing is
uh,
odds are in your favor.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that.
I pass. I rolled an 89.
Okay. So, you see the chief. He is in his office, and he's got one of those offices where it's like wood panel up to about waist level, and then it's window above that.
Okay.
The door is shut, but it looks like he has manually dealt out a hand and is playing solitaire on his desk, like with actual cards.
Okay. It is the 90s.
It's the 90s.
Right, so they had only developed 3 suits at that point, so there are no hearts.
I got it. Makes solitaire a little difficult as we understand it now.
But anyway, he's doing his best.
I want to knock on his door.
Okay. Do you rap on the wood or the glass?
Wood.
Okay. He looks up and then gestures at you with his hand to come in, but his eyes are still fixed on the game.
Mm-hmm. Hey, sir, we got a problem.
Yeah, what's that, Redding?
So I checked a couple of the sites for this Donnelly case, the suicide from the other day. Checked his apartment.
Yeah, great report, by the way.
Yeah,
really nice work.
So I
glad you got that one sewed up so fast. Because I would hate for there to be any complications. I like a nice, smooth close.
This is not smooth, not closed, and there are complications. So, when I sent over some of the boys to collect the evidence from the apartment and the storage container, because there were some unregistered firearms and things like that, but someone else had come by claiming to be law enforcement and swept up all that stuff. Do you know, has somebody taken over this case?
I told you to take over this case.
Yeah. Okay. So what I understand you to be saying is that you have not gotten any paperwork from the feds or any other agency saying that they have some role in this case.
That's correct.
Okay. So I need some help because either someone is pretending to be law enforcement and stealing this evidence, or some other agency is horning in on this case and you're not aware of it. Both of these situations are bad and I need your help.
He takes a deep breath and looks at you and says, well, that is a problem. I'll make some calls.
Okay, thanks, Chief.
He looks at you and says, sounds like this has gotten quite a bit more complicated, and I need you to look me in the eye and tell me if you're the right man for this case.
I'm the only man for this case, Chief.
Hell yeah.
He sizes you up and then he says, all right, we'll get back to it then.
All right, thanks, Chief.
And as you leave the office, you shut the door behind you, and he does pick up the phone.
Sweet. I'm going to O'Shamrocks.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do at this point, you know? May as well just kick some back and wait for the good things to happen.
Right, yeah. I put some good vibes out in the universe.
So do you walk over? It's pretty close.
I guess I'll bike over, because, I mean, I'm done for the day at this point.
So you're headed home afterwards.
Yeah, because I would have driven back here, but I would have biked here from my home, and I live right across the street from O'Shamrock, so I'm biking to O'Shamrocks.
Okay. All right, yeah, so you bike over, and on your way over, you're thinking, like, you really did not know how that conversation with the chief was going to go. You know him to be a hardworking and competent dude, but he's obviously a hard ass, and he's kind of erratic.
And he doesn't like me.
So you get that on your mind, and I mean, it seems like he's doing something about it. He picked up the phone. But you bike over to O'Shamrocks, and it is a regular Tuesday night, which is to say pretty bumpin'.
Nice.
There are a lot of regulars there.
Do I see that Danny DeVito looking guy from the storage?
You do not.
Okay, because I'm looking.
Yeah, but he's pretty short. So,
ooh, that's true. Yeah, I probably won't find him.
He could be behind like a high countertop or something like that. No, so do you go to the bar or do you try to get a table?
I'll go to the bar.
Okay.
And they could definitely have either philosophy with me, which is, hey, he's our best customer, so we should treat him well, or he's gonna come no matter what, so it's really not that important how well we treat him.
Yeah, I mean, you would. It's more the latter.
Sweet. I'm waiting at the bar for forever trying to get my drink.
At least from Tim, because you have shorted him enough on tips and sometimes the bill that he's never sure there's actually anything in it for him when he serves you. But you wait a couple of minutes and he does show up. Yeah. All right.
Hey, give me a tall glass of Jameson.
And he does just that. Does Simon normally take it straight on the rocks?
Yeah, neat. But it's like an 8-ounce glass of it.
Oh. Yeah. So the thing is, Tim is pretty anal about using those weird little measurement things.
Okay. There's
they're
6 of them in there.
Which I always found a little uncomfortable, especially in loud bars.
Right. Yeah. So he gets out his jigger and very carefully measures it out, like all the way to the top. Like it's going to be difficult to even slide this over the counter to you without spilling. And you could see him counting because he's going to charge you for each serving.
I mean, yeah.
But he slides that over to you.
All right, thanks. And you know what? Let me.
And then he looks at you and just says, "Tuesdays."
Am I right? Let me get one of those burgers too. People seem to be loving those recently.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want with it?
Nah, whatever, man. Just whatever comes with it. And
Okay.
I'm already starting to slurp down my drink.
Yeah. You have to start just by putting your mouth over it
Right. Yeah.
to kind of make some room for yourself. Jemison is definitely bottom shelf, but it's a great value.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm all
You would
about
equate
the
it to
value.
it's like Kirkland level.
Are you trying to tell me that Kirkland isn't good quality right now?
No, what I'm trying to tell you is Kirkland's a great deal.
It is a great deal.
So, before long, a cheeseburger comes out for you with, it looks like they're doing sweet potato fries tonight.
Sure, whatever. I'm barely gonna eat it. I just want to look like I'm a little more civilized with my tall glass of whiskey.
So as you dunk your burger and your fries in your glass
Exactly.
and eat them, are you doing anything? Are you working at the bar or are you just sitting there?
No, I'm just sitting there.
Okay.
I'm sure there's like the TV on or something.
Does Simon strike up like weird or awkward conversations with other barflies?
I mean, presumably he knows some of them, like whoever the other like pathetic regulars are at this bar.
Right.
I should be, one of the people know, or they at least recognize me by sight.
My
even
point
if
is,
they don't know
there
who I am.
at bars there are barfly archetypes.
Yeah, so there should be like some old men there who like work at the construction company who've been drinking here for years, and they should probably be pretty familiar with me.
Okay, all right, but some people get weird, like they really do not want to be talked to, and then some people are uncomfortably talkative.
I'm just the guy who like people will like make a quip about, and then I'll like say something slightly funny back, but the answers get more incoherent as the night goes on. So
Okay, all right.
I'm more just like a right, Simon.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Tim checks in on you every now and then, but otherwise, you're just watching the, what did we say, the Golden River?
Salamanders, I think.
Is that what it was?
That sounds
think so.
right.
Yeah, you're just watching the Salamanders play, up on the TV.
Yeah.
It's their badminton team.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go from 0 to hero on this like real quick. So I'm probably gonna slurp down all that Jameson within like probably a couple minutes.
Nice.
And
Wow.
then order. I'll cool it down and just order doubles after that.
After that, it's a 10-ounce glass full of booze.
Yeah, so I've taken some health classes, so that's that's the equivalent. That's 6 shots worth.
Yeah.
And so just like maybe 2 or 3 doubles after that, and then I'm head home.
All right.
And the
nothing
burger
crazy.
and fries basically untouched. But hey, it's only $3, so
Okay. Yeah. Well, so by the time you're done with all that, it's probably about 10:30.
yeah, I wouldn't have spent too long because I got to go to bed. There's something stupid is gonna happen tomorrow, and it's better to be up earlier than later for it.
Okay. All right. Let's shift over to Tim. So Tim, it's about
Yes.
sunset. When last we left you, you had
When last you left, I was regretting not bringing anything like a sleeping bag.
right. I mean, you just showed up here in
Yeah, I had no plan.
right. You've got no food. You have just the clothes on your back.
Yeah, the only reason I was able to get in was because of like spoopy ghosts.
Well, we don't know that. You just found the door unlocked after you
Well,
found
my
it locked.
sanity was impacted
It was
by
a-
it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's 10 bars. That's gonna
Yeah.
happen all the time.
Yeah.
We can't use that as a metric for whether ghosts are
It's
involved.
true. He's the jumpiest man alive.
Right. So you are now in the house, and I think the last room we discussed you being in was you
was
went
in the rocking
upstairs. And you're sitting in the rocking chair in this, the only room that is above the main floor of the house that looks all the way around. And you're rocking back and forth, and it's now occurring to you that like you don't have anything with you, but you're sure there's stuff here to discover. Like clearly the house is important, and maybe some quality time will help you figure out exactly how and why. So what are you up to?
I am going to make another round of the house just to see if there's anything I can use for, like, I don't expect to find bedding, but something I can at least use as like a pillow.
Okay.
And I think my plan is to focus on this room with the rocking chair.
Okay.
Just as a quick aside, as Simon falls asleep, he remembers that he meant to request a stakeout of this house in case those law enforcement folks come by, and then just kind of drunkenly like shrugs and says, "No, whatever, we'll do it tomorrow," and then collapses into bed.
Cool.
Nice. Okay, so for the first time, you're not in a rush. You are exploring the house. And you're looking for a pillow, but you're also just checking out the house. So it's smallish, but the ceilings are kind of high. That second story, or the one room that you've been spending a lot of time in, was added above the garage. And let's see. So as you walk around, I'm just going to give you descriptions of the room sort of as you pass through them, and so you can imagine you're taking stock of everything slowly and looking for a place some bedding to put together. So the front porch is simple, but it's nicely made out of stone. It's enclosed by iron bars, and there are 3 steps up to the front door. There's a single lamp hanging above a red door, and it opens into a small foyer. The foyer has a closet, and it opens directly into the dining room and the den. And the closet door has a full-length mirror facing the foyer.
Oh, great, another mirror.
As you walk through there, the dining room looks through a 3-paned gable window onto a shrubbery in the front yard. There are doorways leading to the foyer and the kitchen. There's a kind of gaudy chandelier hanging from the ceiling, and you have flipped up the light switch and tested it, and it flickers. It doesn't seem the illumination it provides is not consistent. Next, you walk into the den. This is a large room, and it's really the centerpiece of the house. It has a fireplace. You can leave there to go to the foyer, the back porch, the breakfast nook, or the hallway to 3 bedrooms. There's a kitchen. It looks like it probably hasn't been updated in years. It's pretty dated. It's sort of like a grandparent type of kitchen in terms of the installed appliances. It's got some peeling stick-on tile. The counters are cracked and a little yellowed with age. Very old stove. And it has a subtle kind of rotten odor. It seems like it needs to just get a deep cleaning and probably needs to be redone entirely. Looking through the bedrooms, one of them looks like it was, just by the wallpaper, maybe a child's room once. But there's not really much here. It's just an empty room with like a blue nautical kind of themed wallpaper around it. The next bedroom actually has it shares a bathroom with the bedroom you just came from. It is empty and has nothing in it but a ratty rug in it. You'd think maybe you could roll that up and put your head on it, but it looks kind of dirty. Then you have another bedroom. This adjoins the same hallway. Also empty. It looks like it did have carpeting, but that's been removed. The master bedroom, you've only glanced in here before, but you're kind of attracted to it now because it's very strange. Other than the 2 windows that it has, the walls are entirely mirrored.
Oh.
So this is really weird, and it is simultaneously fascinating and a little nauseating. It's definitely disorienting.
This is what happens when Jack looks in the mirror in real life. It's disorientating.
You're not wrong. And disturbing, yes.
Nauseating.
Yeah. And as you walk in here, so there's nothing in the room. It is, there's carpet on the floor, no furniture, no closet even, which seems really weird for a master bedroom. There are indentations in the carpet where a bed frame probably used to be. Dead center in the room, not up against a wall, which also seems odd. And as you walk into the room, as you're turning, you notice some movement in one of the mirrors close to the door. And when you take a closer look, it seems like there is maybe behind you, there's like a feather blowing through the room. But when you turn to look for it in space, you can't find it. So, tracking its motion through the mirrors, you can see it. You can see it in the mirrors that it is moving around. And then when you look in the room itself, it's hard to determine what is and isn't mirror, but you can't place it.
Does it seem, as I observe it in the mirror, that it's following any kind of pattern, or is it like, does it eventually settle on the floor?
Well, I mean, at first, it looks like it's just sort of traveling on currents in the air.
Do I feel any currents in the air?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, that doesn't seem crazy to you.
Okay.
As you turn, you kind of whip it up again, and you're like moving your hands around, trying to catch it, and it continues to move, but eventually you stand still and just watch it in the mirror, and it eventually sets down on the floor.
Okay.
And you turn to look at it on the floor, and there's nothing there.
We should have explored this place more thoroughly the first time we came through.
Give me a sand check.
Yeah, boy. All right. Let's see. Fail. Not a crit fail.
Okay, so this is a 1-0. So go ahead and subtract 1 point.
Okay, I am
Breaking
at
point.
my breaking point. Does that mean do you fail at or below?
Well, okay, so here's the way breaking points work. Nothing immediately happens to you.
Oh.
I think it's a bit of a misnomer. So I think you subtract your power to calculate your new breaking point. But from a mechanical standpoint, the way this works is when you hit your breaking point, you develop a disorder.
Awesome.
So the idea is you have seen or experienced things that stress your mind enough that
I'm barely seeing anything.
that you like need a way to deal with it. It's usually not healthy. You need something to fixate on or distract you or something along those lines. So in your case, this is you're developing an obsession with the house.
Okay.
And so just generally know that you are fascinated by the house. But disorders have both like continuous and acute components. So you're generally obsessed with the house at some sort of low level. But from now on, whenever you lose sand, you have a sand loss of 2 or greater, you're going to have an acute episode where you're really, really fixated on the house.
Okay.
And we can come up with interesting ways to play that off. But for right now, this is just fascinating. Like it does bother you, and you don't know if maybe you're just really tired or what, but something's going on here, and you want to know what it is.
So just to I want to remove all ambiguity here. So I am going to, using the mirrors as a guide, get to a point where I am standing directly above this feather, and then I'm going to look down.
Okay. And I'll do you one better. You can, in the mirror, watch yourself bend down until your finger is touching the feather.
Do I feel anything?
Carpet.
Does the feather move in the mirror?
Yes. Or, it depresses into the carpet.
Okay. I would like to attempt an experiment. I want to, and I'll like take a layer off if I need to do this, but I want to see if I can capture the feather in the mirror in like my shirt or something, and then carry it out of the room.
Okay.
Or does it just like stubbornly avoid capture?
So in the mirror, you do just that. You pick it up, like you already have your hand on it, and you carefully grab it. And it feels strange because you don't feel like you're grabbing anything, but it looks like you're pinching it in the mirror. You slowly pick it up and you observe yourself visually picking this thing up and putting it in your shirt pocket.
Okay.
And you walk out of the room.
Yep, I'm going to go to a different mirror. I'll go to the one in the garage, in the armoire.
Okay. Yeah, so you walk into the garage. You open the garage door, step down a couple of wooden steps, and there
As
are
I'm
only...
doing this, by the way, I'm kind of holding my hand over my pocket so that if it is there, it doesn't slip out.
Okay. Yeah, you walk in here and there are only two objects. Well, there's a couple of chairs stacked up in the back, but otherwise there's the armoire and there's the end table. You stand in front of the armoire and look in the mirror and carefully... Well, first you just pull your pocket open and look down, and there's nothing there. And so you put your... But what you can do is you can bend over in front of the mirror and look into your pocket in the mirror. The feather is there.
Okay. So it's not those mirrors. There's like it seems like a general property of this house is that there are things that are only visible in mirrors, but it doesn't have to be a specific mirror. Okay. I am now considering to myself, have I seen anything in the house that I can, like a more portable mirror? I don't think I would have anything like that on me. But even if it's just like in the bathroom, if there's like one of those makeup kits that has a little fold out mirror, I want something that I can take with me. Okay.
So as you are thinking about this and looking at the feather in the mirror, you're staring, you've leaned in very close and you're staring into your own pocket. And then you realize that there's someone watching you over your shoulder, and your eyes refocus, and you can see in the mirror Arthur Donnelly is standing behind you, just watching silently.
Oh,
in the corner of the garage.
Does he look okay?
He looks...
His neck all, like, twisted.
I mean, as soon as you realize this, it frightens you. And do you think... Well, give me a POW check, actually.
I mean... I'll tell you what my inclination would be before we make a check, so you can determine what success and failure means. My inclination, even though I, at this point, kind of am starting to understand the whole mirror world thing, my instinct's going to be to turn around and look in meat space where he's supposed to be.
Okay, no check then. Yeah, so you
meat space.
Whip your head around to the right to see if he really is standing there over by those chairs, and there's nothing there.
Okay, I'm going to immediately turn back to the mirror, see if he's still in the mirror.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna call out to him. Arthur, are you there?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm gonna go find a mirror.
Okay. So, you're saying you're looking for some kind of mirror that's not fixed to the house?
Yeah, I want something mobile. What time is it? It's evening.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's been a little while now. You very carefully moved through the house. So, and you started at sunset, so now it's about 10 o'clock.
Okay, yeah. So there's nothing. If I wanted to make a quick trip to a local store to get something, I wouldn't be able to do it right now.
No, you could. I mean, there are places that are open late, or even there are a couple of 24/7 drugstores in town.
Okay. Tim is going to kind of like shake his head and say, "This is crazy. I have to spend the night here now. Even though it seems like it might be dangerous, this is bizarre and fascinating, and I cannot just let this go. So I am going to walk out the back door. I'm going to kind of prop it open so that it can't, like, I'm not locking it, but I want to make sure the door doesn't even latch.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to the closest store I can find, and I'm going to get, just a couple of basics so that I can, spend the night. I'm going to get a flashlight. I'm going to get a mirror. I'm going to get a little camera if I can find one.
Okay. Yeah, so you, was CVS around?
Maybe.
There's some Golden River equivalent.
Yeah.
It's called VCR back then.
Yeah, you go to the Golden River Pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
You bike there. You can get there in 10 minutes or so. It's let's see, where are we going to say this is close to? This is up north, closer to the hospital, but you don't have to cross the river. So you bike out of the neighborhood and onto a more main road, and you get to the drugstore. They're open 24/7, and you walk in, and they have just typical drugstore stuff. So what are you trying to pick up? You're trying to pick up, you said, like a makeup mirror?
Anything, like a makeup mirror would be an easy way to get there, but anything I can find that just gives me a portable mirror.
Yeah, so
it'd probably end up being a makeup kit. It's fine.
Right. It's easy to find one of those, just one of the little clamshell mirrors that fits in the palm of your hand.
I want a flashlight.
Okay.
And then if it's a drugstore, they're probably not going to have a pillow, but they may. If they do, I'll grab one.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a towel.
Yep, that would work.
And
then
you can get a disposable camera.
Ooh, yes. Ideally, something where the film. I forget what they're called, but the one where you don't have
Polaroids.
to send Polaroids, where you don't have to send it to a dark room, like an instant camera kind of thing. They probably wouldn't have that.
Give me a luck check.
All right.
I think that's less
The
common.
odds are in my favor. Nope, that's an even. Okay.
No, they have the regular disposable cameras, the ones that have that clicky wheel thing that you have to do.
Okay, well, it's better than nothing. I'll grab it.
All right.
And I'll get a couple extra rolls as well. And
A couple of extra rolls of what?
Of film.
No, you got to get other cameras.
Oh, jeez. I'll get 2 cameras.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how the disposables worked.
Right, it's one unit, and then you turn in the camera and it gets developed.
Okay. And then I guess just like some snacks.
What do you get?
Totino's.
Oh, you're going to use the oven at the...
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all in, baby.
Now,
Are you going to get a baking sheet or?
Yeah, they don't have any pans or anything.
Oh.
You get some tinfoil.
Yeah, that'll work. Is there anything? This probably wouldn't work. But anything I can see that might be able to record audio? Probably not.
No.
Okay. Just trying to think of anything else I would need before I leave here. I got a flashlight. I got a camera. I've got
Is there any?
mirror.
What is it? EVP? Is there any? Are there any EVP recorders? What's it called?
Yeah. Yeah, it's an
I want
EVP.
some. We got like a thermal camera,
Right. Yeah, there's a ghost hunting kit, but you don't think you can afford it.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a ghost. I think I'm good. I've got plus I gotta get all this stuff back on my bike anyway, so I can't be carrying too much.
Right. So I mean, this isn't anything too crazy. Between the towel and the other stuff, you have like 2 shopping bags full of stuff.
I don't know, man. I got a lot of pizza rolls.
Yeah, I mean, how many?
more than any man should be able to eat in 2 nights, but Tim will probably eat them in 1.
Oh my god, you got like 3 of the 40 bangers.
I guess I will say I will probably pick up multiple. If there are any flashlights that kind of have a wider area, it's like less of a beam and more of a.
So this is something we need to establish right now. In the X-Files, whenever Mulder and Scully are looking at things with flashlights, they have flashlights that have comically narrow beams.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like they'll like walk into a room and shine a flashlight, and it reveals like a 2-foot wide portion.
Okay, and that's what I'm limited to.
That is the way of like, for aesthetic reasons, that has to be the way this campaign works. Is you guys have these very silly flashlights that like they're great for narration because they, you can only look at one thing at a time.
Perfect.
Good.
They're laser pointers.
Yeah. Yeah, go look this up. I'm not exaggerating. It's ridiculous.
Then I guess if I can't get better illumination, the only other things I want to pick up before I leave are like a little pocket knife and a basic first aid kit.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Just in case,
you're
there's some
definitely
hostilities.
You're able to get all that, but I mean the pocket knife is like a shitty little. You need 2 hands to open it. Swiss Army knife type knife. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
If you go over to Salmon Amateur, you might be able to get something
I don't
better.
know if they're open 24/7. I can do that tomorrow.
yeah, it's a very conspicuous inverted pyramid
Whoa.
design. It's underground.
Is that like the inverted triangle from Always Sunny?
It's inverted
Or
funnel.
the inverted funnel, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, you get all that up. You're up to 3 bags now. You have
That's good. I'm good.
3 bags that you have to sling over your handlebars. They don't have self-checkout yet, so you do have to, interact with a human being as they pack the
How
stuff
do
up.
they feel about this purchase at 10 p.m.?
I mean, it's kind of strange, but it's nowhere near. You get the idea that probably the teenagers that work the night shift here at like Golden River Pharmacy have seen some shit, and like you are not setting off any alarms. You're just one more weirdo.
What's the joke? Is like the guy who walks in the store and buys donuts, donut holes, and super glue. That's how you generate the weirdest looks.
I've not heard that one before, but
No, I always heard I think there's an XKCD comic. It's you buy like condoms in a watermelon or something like that.
Pineapple.
yeah, they don't sell pineapple here.
All right, I'm out. I pay
Okay.
for it. I'll take the hit.
All right, yeah, you sling this stuff over your handlebars and get rolling. So by the time you get back, it's about 11.
Okay. Is my door still propped open?
Well, let's talk about the approach. So where do you leave your bike? Like you show up to the house. The lights are out for the most part throughout the neighborhood. You don't get the impression that many other people are up. Do you conceal the bike somewhere in the yard? Do you just leave it in front of the house?
I can leave it behind the house.
Behind the house. Okay, so you bring it up onto the lawn with you and just walk next to it, pulling it back behind the house. Prop it up against the siding, or
In fact, I'll just bring it inside the house. Why risk it?
okay. Well, the door is still propped open.
Cool. I'm heading in.
Okay.
Bring the bike
So
with me. Take it.
Yep.
Lock it behind me.
Okay. All right. So you go to the oven, and it creaks open. It looks kind of dirty inside, but you're going to be using this foil anyway, so you don't care. So you go ahead and preheat that bad boy, and
Okay.
get your first. How many pizza rolls are you starting with?
I'll start with if it's like the normal bag, I'll start with like a half bag.
Like 20.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be a long night.
Yeah. All right, so you get your 20 pizza rolls out. You put them on the foil. You're waiting for the oven to heat up. Now you have your other couple of bags of goodies. What are you up to?
So my plan right now, and it's a little, I'm realizing as I'm going through this that it is like an abandoned house at night. So if I am walking around with a flashlight, it might kind of, I might get the cops called on me, which is not ideal. And so a lot of the illuminated exploring may need to happen tomorrow. But, especially if there are blinds on the windows, I do want to do a little bit of wandering around before I, at least try to sleep.
Okay,
So
there are no blinds, but there are drapes.
Yeah, drapes works.
Curtains and drapes.
I'm going to make a beeline for that upstairs room.
Okay. All right, so it's nighttime now. It's quiet. Every noise seems amplified to you. And so as you walk up the stairs, well, not only do you hear the creaking of the stairs under your feet, but you can also hear what sounds like a rhythmic creaking. A creaking sound you recognize from earlier, which is that's what it sounds like if you're sitting in the rocking chair, rocking back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I've got one of the cameras with me. I've also got the flashlight, and I've got the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I've got the knife. The first aid kit's probably on the table.
Okay, what do you have in your hands?
In my hands, I have the mirror. It's not open yet.
Okay.
And I've got the flashlight, which is on, kind of pointed at the floor.
Okay. So the camera and the pocket knife are in your pockets.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Or if the camera came with like a strap, it's probably just dangling.
No strap.
Okay. Then, yeah, I would have slipped it into my pocket as much as possible.
Okay. All right. So as you're advancing up and you hear that rocking sound, what do you do? Do you keep moving up the stairs or do you stop?
I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to think, and where my brain's at is, because I was thinking on the way back as well, I think mirrors, there's stuff that's not visible to the naked eye. It looks like mirrors can get you there, but I wonder if that's the only thing. I wonder if a lens can also do that. So I am going to swap the mirror and the camera. So I've got the mirror in one hand, the camera in one hand. The mirror's going in my pocket. I've got the flashlight out, and I'm going to walk into the room looking through the viewfinder of the camera.
Okay.
And the moment I walk in, I'm going to snap a pic.
Got it. All right, so you're looking through the viewfinder, being careful not to trip, and you lean into the room, and you can see the rocking chair moving, but nothing in it through the viewfinder.
Okay.
You snap a pic.
I'm immediately putting the camera back,
There's a bright flash. It's kind of blinding to you.
Okay.
And you set it down on the stairs, and you have to give yourself a few seconds to adjust.
All right. I'll take the mirror back out.
Okay.
Is the rocking chair still moving?
The rocking chair is still moving. And when you look, you have the mirror in your hand, and you angle it so that you are now looking sideways, and you're looking at the rocking chair in the mirror. And there is an old woman in the chair.
Okay.
And she is looking at you.
Okay. Does she seem what vibe am I getting off of her? Threatening?
Malevolent.
Does that freak you out at all?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, no, I mean, understand
Curious.
that this is not a good situation, but is she like a spooky but kindly woman? But it sounds like she's a spooky and aggressive.
A spooky. Well, not aggressive, but she seems. There's something. She doesn't seem kind. The vibe you get is not good. She's looking at you. And it is deeply unsettling. So give me another sanity check.
Yay. Okay, that's actually a pass. I think this is the first sanity check I've passed.
Okay, so you had sort of... You knew that this was coming. Or likely, anyway. That's the whole point of the mirror. But even though it's maybe not like intellectually a surprise to you at this point. It does not make you more comfortable.
Yeah.
If anything, it makes you uncomfortable. Because Donnelly, when you saw Donnelly in the mirror, well, you saw him for an instant, but you didn't get the sense that he was a threat to you. This raises the hairs in the back of your neck. And so you continue to hear that creaking, and she's just sitting there staring at you.
Okay.
So it's an old woman wearing all black, with like a shawl. She's got white hair, sort of wispy. It's long. Her face is very, very deeply wrinkled, and her hands are clutching the arms of the chair as she rocks back and forth.
Now, you say all black. Does it look like morning wear or just a black outfit?
It's dark enough that it's tough to tell.
Okay. Ever the engineer, and in the spirit of experimentation, Tim is going to sort of angle himself such that the rocking chair's reflection is visible in the window, and then he's going to glance over and see if she's visible in the window.
Okay. She is not.
Okay. I turn my attention back to the mirror, and...
She is.
Okay. Hello?
No response.
Adele?
No response.
Isabel?
Nothing.
Okay.
Now, her head is tracking you. Like,
Okay.
She's reacting to your presence, but she doesn't open her mouth to speak.
Okay. Can you speak?
She, at this point, stops rocking and begins to stand up from the chair.
Okay. I am going to start walking away. I'm turning my back on her. I have the mirror held in front of me so I can see her over my shoulder, and I am going to start walking down the stairs.
Okay. So as you're walking down the stairs, you hear those footsteps, like the creaking, like you come down the stairs, but you can hear creaking behind you as it sounds like she is slowly walking down the stairs behind you. Give me an alertness check.
Okay. Alert. Oh, my alertness is 20. Normal fail.
Okay. All right.
Well, at least I get to boost my alertness at the end of the session.
Yeah, make sure you track these. Okay, so when you get down to the base of the stairs, what do you do?
As fascinating as this is, I have now, I think, and I guess you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but I believe I have reached a point of I should do this during the day and not alone. My thing now is I want to convince Simon to come back here with me. I've got the mirror. I can show him things. Maybe this picture will also turn into something. But I definitely do not want to be in the house alone at night with the spooky ghost lady who is now actively following me. So my goal is to leave, but I need to turn the oven off first because otherwise this house is going to burn down, and I can't abide the thought of not being able to come back.
Okay.
So I'm sprinting for the kitchen, and then I'm sprinting for my bike.
So as you go to the kitchen, which is near the bottom of the stairs, and you go to turn the oven off, and you're trying to do... Well, are you trying to cover your tracks at all, or are you trying to, like, remove...
No, I'm not thinking that clearly. I'm just trying to get, I guess, I've got, if the bag is there, anything that's like...
You've taken a few things out of the bag. You've, like, arranged your pizza rolls on the foil, and they're on the stove top.
Yeah, the pizza rolls aren't getting cleaned up. I'll grab the bags.
Okay, so as you're doing this, there's a little window that, like, over the top of the stove that looks out into the yard and stuff like that, and this sort of confuses you at first. A couple of things hit you at once. First, you smell gasoline. Second, outside of this window, you see flames licking up around the window. from the outside.
Oh.
And as you turn, you can see at the back door, there are big flames licking up they're visible through the glass panes of the back door as well.
Okay. And just to be clear, this isn't like mirror world spookiness. This appears to be...
No, you're just looking
Things that
straight
are-
at this.
Okay, so the house is on fire. Somebody set the house on fire. Or it will soon be on fire. Okay. I need to get my bike and get out of here. But
Okay.
I think the bike is near the back door, so I guess I
bike
gotta
is-
go out the front door.
The bike is near the back door, right?
Okay, can I get to the bike?
Yeah, the bike is inside. I mean, you pulled
Okay.
it in after you, so...
Yep, so
So
I'm...
you got two, or at this point you have 3 bags of groceries basically, and the bike, and you are pulling it through the house between the back door and the front door. So you're going through like the den and the foyer, and you can see there's flame out here as well.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best to avoid it on my way to the front door and make my exit.
Or I should say that, like looking through the windows out here. I mean, outside the house,
Oh, I see.
moving up the walls, there's flame as well.
Okay, which of the two... Like, I'm gonna have to make a break for it, otherwise I'm gonna burn to death inside the house. Between the back and the front, which one seems the most escapable?
Split-second decision. You think probably the front.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go for it.
Okay. So you take the sleeve of your shirt and put it over your hand to try to work the knob of the door. You get the door unlocked. You swing it open onto the front porch, and immediately flame starts to work its way like through the door frame now inside the house. But you think if you get a running start, basically you can jump through and like you'll probably get significantly singed, but you'll like make it through to the other side.
Okay. Can I, if I've got my bike with me, can I kind of try to huck it through the door I really don't want to leave my bike inside the burned house.
Sure. Yeah, you swing it and toss it out onto the front lawn.
All right. I'm back up a step or two, run and start, jump through, and hope for the best.
Okay. All right, give me let's see. What do we got here?
Tim's very athletic, so...
Yeah, give me an athletics check.
That's a fail.
Okay. So, you're coughing at this point.
Okay.
The place is filling up with smoke, and you're desperate. A couple of things are racing through your mind right now. Like, the place is on fire, and you're probably gonna die, or maybe going to die. You're not supposed to be here. Like, you're breaking and entering, trespassing, tampering with a crime scene. And so, like, the prospect of being caught here, even if you do survive, is terrifying to you. And you try to give yourself some room to run and jump through this flame. And as you're going to do that, like, you get your running start, and you trip on the rug in front of the door, and you fall flat on your face, and instinctively, like, as you're falling, you reach out to grab the door frame, which is on fire.
Awesome.
And so your right hand is now burned, but you're able to, not recover exactly, but you're able to get up enough to scramble through the door and roll out onto the lawn. So you are burned, you're coughing, but you're more or less okay.
Okay. How bad
and-
a burn, or is it kind of a like I'll find out later how bad it is? Right now, it just kind of
You can
hurts.
already tell it's bad.
Okay.
But you can get away and kind of assess that later. Looking back at the house, it is the whole house is ringed in fire, and the fire has now worked its way well up the sides of the house. Like, you think this thing is going down.
Okay.
So
Does he feel obsessed enough that he runs back in?
He does not. But what do you want to do?
I'm gonna get on my bike and leave. I'm gonna just like, that is the only thing in my mind right now is I need to not be here.
Okay. All right. So you get on your bike and pedal away. Which way do you go? Like, do you bike right back to your house or your apartment?
Yep, straight back. And I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see what I can do about this burn, because as I'm biking, the first like coherent thought that I have once I start to calm down a little bit is, well, this is my boss's old house. People know that I was kind of sniffing around on the investigation. Now it's burned down, and I have a burn on my hand. And depending on the extent of the damage, it may be that there's something that's still in the house that ties to me. Like, this is not good. And so...
yeah, give me a luck check.
Please. Okay, that's a success.
Okay. Well, so you're a little ways away. Like, you've left the neighborhood by the time you hear sirens. Mm-hmm. And they don't cross your path. And you were really paranoid thinking about this as you were biking, but you didn't see any other you didn't see any like porch lights come on or anything. So okay. no concrete indicators to you that you were seen fleeing.
Okay. So the only things then I think I got all my stuff out. The only thing that's left in there is the Totinos, which may be like so burned up in the fire that people can't even realize what it is. So that should be okay.
They were sitting on foil as well.
Yeah. So
they should be perfectly cooked by the time emergency services should
But they're going to be
arrive.
really hot.
Yeah. No, that I'm not too worried about that. The evidence that I'm worried about now is the burn on my hand, so I got to get that looked at, and then also this camera does have a picture from inside the house.
Now, when you set the camera down on the stairs, did you pick it back up again on your way down?
I've still got the camera.
Okay.
Which is the one thing I'm like, man, I hope that's the only thing I got out of this. Besides also the knowledge that there's something about mirrors. The knowledge. Drop out of college. So I want to get that film developed. But I got to be kind of careful about how I do it, potentially. I guess it's probably not going to be that bad. As long as I also have the negatives, then there's not really going to be a trace of it. So my main concern is his hand.
Okay, so you've made it back to your apartment. You like get inside, you've got your bags, and you throw that stuff on the counter, and you're breathing pretty hard at this point. You're very, very anxious, and you take a look at your hand, and it is, the whole thing is like one big blister. Not the back of your hand, but the palm where you grab the door. I mean, you got like a full hand full of burning wood. So this is, almost like reaching into a fireplace and grabbing a burning log. So it is oozing. It is, like you should probably see someone about this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's throbbing. It hurts.
I'm going to run it under... I'm going to turn the tap on, just get some cold water going. That always helps, at least the feeling with burns while I think this over.
Sure.
Because if I go to the hospital, then, it's going to be on record. I don't know if I want to do that. But if it gets infected or something, then I'm going to have to go to the hospital anyway. And I will have gained nothing except an infected hand.
Yeah.
So I am going to... I do have a first aid kit, which probably has some burn stuff.
Yeah, just throw some Neosporin on that. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, you have a first aid kit. In fact, you have a brand new first aid kit. It does have burn cream. It has gauze, medical tape.
I'm gonna attempt some self-care here.
You're gonna lose that hand.
Okay. Yeah. So you generously apply this cream that is in the first aid kit that's supposed to be for burns. It hurts like hell, but you're diligent about getting it everywhere, and then you wrap the whole hand in basically like a gauze mitten.
If you burn it, it should help to cauterize.
It's true.
Yeah. So, what do you do now? Like, once you get your hand all wrapped up, you're probably pretty wired.
Yeah, there's a part of me that understands that I should be asleep right now, but that is not in the cards.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, we will flip over to Simon. So, Simon Redding is asleep. And you are woken up by a phone call.
Yeah. Red egg.
You get a call from the station. And you hear like a familiar cop voice just telling you, Detective Redding?
Yeah.
Listen, there's been a fire at a house associated with one of your cases. That's the Spooner Ave house.
Okay.
You need to get over there right now. Fire and police and everybody are over there.
Okay, I'm on the way.
All right.
What time is it?
Well, you look at your Timex Iron Man and you can see that it's about 1 a.m.
Okay, so I'm still drunk.
Yeah,
but
like,
I mean,
pretty
it's whatever. Yeah, so luckily I fell asleep wearing my work clothes, so I can just roll out, baby. I'm good to go.
So you're still wearing your suit,
right?
everything.
Exactly. I'll lose the jacket, but yeah. So I immediately just lose the jacket, like crack my neck, stumble out the door, get on my bicycle, and head to the station.
Okay. Yeah, you make it to the station. You get in your car, and then you drive over to the house.
Oh yeah.
So that whole process takes you 25 minutes or so.
Sure.
And when you get to the house, or as you're pulling up, you can see there's a fire truck there. They're still actively hosing down the house. And the blaze is still going. It looks like it's contained to that house. It doesn't look like it's spreading, which is good. It's not that windy tonight.
Thank goodness it's been raining all week.
Yeah. Well, one look at it and like this house is history. Like it has been completely destroyed by this fire, and whatever's left is gonna have to be bulldozed.
Well, clearly there's a more competent Delta Green squad who's playing the same game we are.
Not that we know that.
Not that Simon knows that.
So there's the chief, the fire chief, is standing there by his truck watching his guys do their thing. And as you pull up, and you know this guy, he looks at you and says, "This is arson."
Yeah, you know already.
Yeah, I mean, I could smell it when I came up.
Okay. I go up and I shake his hand. Me and Frank go way back.
Yeah, so he shakes your hand, and he's just standing there watching, and he says, I mean, it fortunately
My breath stinks, by the way.
that does not surprise him.
Nor does it bother him.
He does look at your car.
I walked.
Yeah, and he just shakes his head and says, yeah, I mean, other than discovering matches and gas cans at the scene, like this is clearly arson.
Okay.
That's the only thing that we could have found that would have made it more obvious than it already is.
Wait, do you know anything about the dispatch call? Did anybody say anyone was fleeing the scene, or any reports of people in the area, anything like that? Do you know?
No, we haven't heard anything like that.
Okay.
Just some, some neighbor next door saw it and called us, but by the time we got here, it was pretty far gone. So, I mean, now we're containing it, but the house is destroyed.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So we'll we'll have an investigator in here, and they'll give us a more complete report. But you can count on it being arson. I don't know. Don't know point of origin or anything like that. But my guess is, well, we can smell the accelerant. It's gas, and they probably, just based on what I'm looking at right now, probably poured a couple cans worth all along the perimeter of the house. It's an old house. It just went right up.
Right. Okay.
What's kind of confusing is when we got here, both the front and back doors were open.
Like unlocked or
Actually,
open?
let me check this. The front door was open.
Front door was open.
Like not unlocked, like open.
Sure. Is that weird?
Well, I mean, the reason we called you is because this house it's in our records as being part of an active investigation.
Okay. So you think they might have gone in the place before they torched it, whoever did this?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, it's not like I can pull prints from it. And I just kind of gesture.
And he shrugs and says, I don't know. I mean, every once in a while we've been able to.
All right, well, we'll try, I guess.
Yeah, with any luck, if there's something in there that's protected,
I see a bloody handprint on the door.
Something that preserved a print, and we'll be able to figure out who did this.
All right, I'll let me talk to my boys, and then we'll be around.
He nods his head.
Thanks, Frank. And then so I'm looking for whoever the cops that showed up. I'm looking for them.
Okay, yeah. There are a couple of uniforms standing out by their car, just drinking coffee, and when they see you, they stop talking and look at you.
Hey, boys. When you show up with the fire department, or you show up before or after? When you get here?
We showed up a couple minutes after.
Okay. Have you guys heard anything about anyone fleeing the scene or anything like that?
No, I mean, the place was deserted other than the usual neighbors taking a look by the time we showed up. We asked the standard set of questions, sort of, what did you notice? When did you notice the fire? Were there any vehicles you didn't recognize around here? That kind of thing. Nothing.
Okay, nobody saw anything.
That's right.
Okay, fantastic. I kind of shrug. I'm like, all right, well, I'll leave you to it then. Once it's fit to be walked through again, have somebody call the station so they can get me out here again.
We'll do. We'll come back and check in the morning.
All right, thanks. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go to the station and see if anybody's there.
Okay. Nobody but the watch at the front desk.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna make sure they're up to speed. Like, tell them, make sure that they're aware and that they're dragging the same thing I am. But I mean, there's nothing I can do about this right now, so I'm just gonna go back home and sleep.
Okay. So, back over to Tim. You are in your apartment. It's the middle of the night. You're pacing. You're wired. You can't sleep. Your hand hurts like hell, and you're worried about it. You're worried about the dilemma of it seeking medical attention. Like, will that tie you to this? At what point do you go to sleep, or do you go to sleep at all?
I would probably, maybe an hour or two after I am done patching myself up and just, sitting there and thinking, oh God, what's happening? What am I going to do? I probably just conk out wherever I happen to be sitting. It's not a decision, it just happens.
Okay.
And I'll probably wake up to a bunch of missed calls from my supervisor going, hey.
Yeah, let's say you fall asleep at about 4.
Okay.
And then roll me a D8.
D8. 3.
Okay, so you wake up on your own at 7.
Wow, okay.
You don't feel good, but you do wake up and you glance at your watch and realize, oh, it's daytime.
Okay.
The watch is barely hanging on, strapped over your big oven mitt.
Mm-hmm. Well, his watch is... Oh, yeah, you are left-handed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
It's the one saving grace of this situation is that it's my offhand that got burned. I'm glad that you just remembered that now, so that you didn't burn my left hand.
Yeah.
Well, your left hand is missing, though, when you wake up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Oh,
burned
no.
off over the night. Okay. So what is your... Well, actually, let me flip over to Simon then. When is Simon getting up?
Well, so I planned on waking up around like 6 or so.
Okay.
And then going and checking out the Spooner house, but obviously, no longer necessary, so I'm just going to wake up whenever I wake up, which is probably going to be around like 7.
Okay. Got it. All right, so you wake up at 7. What do you do?
I took a shower, grab a beer, and I'm not putting on a suit today. I'm going like slacks and like a plain long sleeve t-shirt because I feel like I'm going to be running around doing nonsense today. Well, I guess it's October. I got a jacket on, but like I'm going way more casual. I'm putting on the casual braided belt and something very, very, very practical and not as much detective. I'll just have my badge like around my neck or something. Just to, I'm all business today, and that business is police business. So drink like 2 or 3 beers, and then hop on my bike and I'm heading to the station.
Okay. All right, back to Tim then. So it's like 7:15.
Yeah.
You've gotten somewhat put together. What are you doing?
I am kind of in the daze, and the weird thought that I'm having, because there's like part of me is like, I want to the house, like I want to know more about the house, and then I keep saying no, the house is gone. I can't, like there is no house anymore. Maybe Simon knows something. I'm sure he's getting involved, but like I don't know if I want to talk about it with Simon because he's part of the police. But he already knew. I told him I was going to the house. He already knows I was at the house, so he like maybe he'll come find me. I don't know. And eventually, I just kind of out of routine decide I am going to go to the office and probably get nothing done. And if I haven't heard from Simon by like lunchtime, I'm gonna track him down.
Okay. So yeah, you get dressed for work and bike into the office. It's a clear day, a little cool, but not raining or cloudy like it has been the past couple of days. And you get to work around 8 o'clock. And when you go up to your office, it looks like just about everyone is there. You try to, like, you don't have your own personal office. You have one of those desks out in the kind of open plan area. Mm-hmm. And so you take your backpack and you set it down, and you see that out of the window, or the open door of what was formerly Arthur Donnelly's office, Maggie is standing there, and she says, "Oh, Tim, can I talk to you for a minute?"
Yeah, what's up?
And as you get up and walk over to her, she says, "Oh, what happened to your hand?"
I burned it when I was cooking last night.
Oh wow! Like the whole hand?
Yep, I touched a burner.
Oh.
Tim has a moment of clarity and goes, this might be a solution to I might be able to take some medical leave for this.
Make a persuade check.
Okay, persuade. Ugh. Okay, well, I'll be able to boost that too, I guess.
You're gonna be a rock star by the end of the session.
Actually, I won't. I succeed. It's not a crit success.
So she shrugs and says, "Wow. Well,
You must be really bad at cooking.
not to sound callous,
not
but
good at it.
I hope this isn't going to slow down the report."
I mean, a lot of the report is based on like experimentation. That's going to be kind of hard to do with one hand, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, look, I'm trying to be understanding because I know you worked with Arthur for a long time and everything, but we do have work we need to do, and if you can't do it, you need to take time off.
I think I might have to. That's the reason I came in today. I'm deciding this as I'm having the conversation. The reason I came in
Sure.
today is that I think I actually do need to take some time. Not just because of the Arthur situation, but now also because my hand is messed up and I might actually need to like take some time and be on medication that would prevent me from doing the job anyway to recover.
All right, so I'm going to need you to roll a d20 to determine your leave balance.
Oh, good. America in the 90s. I got a 3.
Well, that gets you through the weekend.
I'm not rolling well.
Okay. Yeah, so you
So
know
I have
that
3 months of leave?
3 years
Exactly.
of leave. That's right.
So much PTO.
God.
You have it's rollover from previous years. You're such a workaholic.
Well, like, I mean, you've gone on a couple of vacations recently.
I spent a lot of time in Aruba.
Yeah, so you're lean. Your leave balance is pretty lean right now. Yeah,
That's why you're supposed to keep a bank for emergencies, man. This is on you.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't yet read all those articles that say things like millennials can't afford a $400 emergency expense and stuff like, that sort of stuff isn't popular yet.
Right.
Why are millennials having kids? Is it because they have 7 jobs and can't pay rent?
So
It's because they're too into the TikTok fashion trends. And
It's true,
they're spending $1,000 a
Right.
month on clothes.
They need
Yeah.
to on their avocado coffee or whatever.
yeah, so as this like schizophrenic series of thoughts is running through your mind,
Yeah, all of this is visible on my face, by the way. I'm twitching
Right.
like crazy.
she looks at you and says, "Tim,
Oh,
are you
yeah.
okay?"
Honestly, no. No, I'm not okay.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm gonna leave. I'm taking time off. And then she starts talking. I am
Yeah.
already walking away.
All right. Well, you need to send an Outlook invitation to me and everybody on your team. And
I don't think Outlook calendars yet.
Outlook calendars didn't exist in 1995.
Probably not. I don't even know if Outlook existed.
Oh, well, we'll get to the bottom of this. This is important. In any case, she starts talking about like the procedure that you need to follow in order to put in the leave, and you just ignore her and walk away. Like you're just sort of dazed. It's like an Office Space sort of like she's just
Yeah.
talking. And
Initial release 97.
Yeah, there you go.
97. All right.
It was
Man,
it was included in Office 97. Look at that.
that must have been a paradise. Can you imagine life without Outlook?
Can you imagine a piece of software who, when it was initially released, was on version 8? How does that make any sense?
What do you mean? You can have a lot of versions that like prior to release.
Yeah, but you typically the first, like the public launch, you'll be, version 1.0. The fact that the initial launch was version 8 is bizarre
so
to me.
they might have
That's
had a lot of
an
internal.
investigation for another day.
Yeah, they probably had a bunch of internal versions that were functional and they used, and then they didn't release it for public use until
we
much
played
later.
a lot of games before we started doing the podcast, so I think we should have started with like session 50.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good idea. But yeah, so you walk away from her as she's doing this, and yeah, so like 8:15, and you're already you're already outside again with your backpack, getting on your bike. What are you up to?
My original plan was to wait for Simon. That is no longer the plan. I am going to find Simon. So I'm heading to the precinct, and I'll ask once I get there, hey, where's Simon at? I got to talk to him.
Okay. So it'll be about 8:30.
8:30.
By the time you make it to the police station, is Simon there by that time?
I probably already gone, and I'm over at Spooner.
Okay. Yeah, so when Tim shows up and you check in at the desk like you had the day before, where they've got, that nice little waiting area and the coffee.
Oh, by the way, just as I don't want to cut you off, but there
you
is
did.
something potentially important that I want to point out here. I am extremely paranoid now about the whole mirror world thing. So as I'm walking around, I am occasionally taking the mirror out and seeing if there's anything like... I'm trying to be a little surreptitious about it, but anybody who's actually paying attention to me will notice me occasionally taking out a makeup mirror and like doing some spinning to see if there's anything that I can see.
Okay. Yeah. So far, you haven't specifically noticed anyone getting too curious about that?
Okay. Have I noticed any inconsistencies?
No.
Okay.
No. But I'll bear that in mind as we keep going. So when you get to the station, you don't see Simon's car that he uses for the police work there. His Buick. Does Simon leave his bike outside the station?
Yeah, there's probably a bike rack right by the motor pool.
Okay, so Tim, you can see that his bike is there, his car is not. Do you go inside after that?
Yeah. I'm gonna go in and talk to whoever's at the front desk and ask for Simon.
Okay, yeah, there's a police officer there in uniform. It's the same guy that you talked to yesterday morning. And when you walk up, you say, what do you say to him?
Say, hey, I'm looking for Simon Redding. See you around?
The dude at the desk says, I think Detective Redding is out on police business. Can I take a message for him?
Yeah, just say that Tim is looking for him, Tim Bars, and that when he gets the chance, I think we should meet up. Got some stuff to talk about. Tell him maybe at Old Shamrocks.
Yeah, tell you what. Why don't you just give me a number that's good for you, and I'll have him get in touch.
I'll give him my number. I guess it's gonna be my home number, and then I'll just sort of shuffle out the door. I'm very frazzled and awkward as I do this.
Okay.
There's a lot of and fidgeting.
All right. And not long after that, Simon, over the radio, you hear, Detective Redding, please contact a Tim Bars, and they read out a phone number to you.
I just radio back. I'm like, yeah, I'll get around to it.
Roger.
So
Back to Tim.
my next stop, I've got like the only thing now that I have going for me is maybe this picture. So I need to get this film developed.
Okay.
Which takes a couple of days, so the sooner I can get it started, the better.
Okay.
So presumably I'll know where to get that done.
Yeah, I mean, you can have it done at most drugstores. They'll develop photos for you.
Yep.
So you could take it back to the place where you bought the camera, or you could take it, to a few other places in town.
Yep, I'll just go to the closest place I can think of to my apartment. I will go there.
Okay. There is there's actually one of those in the parking lot outside of the Riverfront Mall. There's one of those tiny little buildings where all they do is develop photos. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You can probably also get it done at VCR.
Yeah.
But you know that places like that tend to be pretty fast. So you bike over there since you're already here at this station. This is pretty close by. And they say they can turn it around for you, and you'll probably have it by like tomorrow night.
Oh, wow. It's fast film. Yeah, so I'll drop it off and be like, listen, there's only one picture on here. But yeah, let me, I'll be back tomorrow, and if it's done, it's done. If not, you can just give me a timeline.
Okay. Should have it done by 6 o'clock tomorrow.
6 o'clock. Sounds good. Okay. So now I'm just kind of thinking, what else can I even be doing? And the one thing that comes to mind as maybe it's something good to do is I kind of want to look at the apartment in a mirror and see if there's anything weird there, but kind of a once bitten, twice shy thing. I don't want to go myself. So I'm really just waiting on Simon at this point.
And give me a luck check. Actually, give me a constitution check.
Constitution check.
Yeah.
All right. My constitution is actually not bad. Doesn't matter. I still failed.
Okay. Your hand feels worse.
Great.
It feels worse than it did before, and it really starts throbbing. And when you like pull back the gauze a little bit to see if maybe you just need to apply more of the cream, it like you're bothered by what you're seeing here. Like it looks really bad.
Okay.
The skin is turning black and sloughing
Like
off.
I mean, you're like you don't know exactly what infection looks like or anything, but you like you. This is not a first aid situation.
Okay. I guess well, now that I'm using this as an excuse to skip work, I guess going to the hospital and having an official doctor's note is probably to my benefit, and I can just... It's not ideal, the timing between this and the burning house, but I can just say that it was a cooking incident and I touched a burner or something. I think I need to go to the hospital.
Okay. All right. So the hospital is north of the golf course and south of the business area where your office is. Are you going to is this where you have your primary care provider is, or?
I could probably, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you're able to go there and set up an appointment to be seen.
Well, this is like an ER situation, I think.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking you is how...
I'm saying hey, I burned my hand and I thought it was okay, but it's looking like it's not okay and I want immediate attention.
So you go sit in the ER and wait to be seen.
Okay.
And after, about an hour of waiting, you get brought into a private room to be looked at. And at first it's just a nurse talking to you. Mm-hmm. So it's like a mid-30s dude, clean cut. He says, okay, so let me take a look at that burn.
All right. I put my hand out on the desk or table or whatever.
So as he's unwrapping the gauze, he says, okay, so talk to me. What happened here?
I was cooking and had a burner on that I thought I had turned off, so it was still very hot, and there was a pan on it, and I thought it would have been cool at that point, and I went to put my hand on it, and it was still very hot and burned basically my entire palm.
He winces and is just ooh, yeah, that's bad. And he looks at us, this is not good.
It was about 12 hours ago. I put burn cream on it and then pretty recently made the decision that was not sufficient. No,
well, I wish you'd come and seen us sooner, but this, okay, this is going to be okay. You're not going to lose your hand or anything.
Okay.
But this is not going to heal fast. We need to get you some prescription ointment. We're going to need to get this. I'm going to want to clean this and get you wrapped up and probably get you some pain pills as well.
Okay. So just off the cuff, you're saying not going to be a fast heal. I'm assuming the usability prognosis in the short term is also not good.
No, it's probably going to be another month before you can really use this hand.
Ugh. Okay.
But you should heal up fine. Frankly, there's probably going to be some scarring. This is a bad burn.
Yeah, that's fine.
And he says, you can move all your fingers though? You can still feel fine?
Good question. Can I?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. He says, yeah. This is not the end of the world. It's just very bad.
Understood. Thank you.
You don't use this hand, do you?
Yeah. Okay. And he says, all right, let me get with the doc and I'll get you prescriptions for what you need. We'll give you enough now to get started, and then you can go to a pharmacy and pick up more later.
Gotcha.
And so he comes back in a little while and he has some cream with him, and he shows you how much to apply and what to do and wraps your hand up. And then says, okay, you're good to go. Just stop at the front desk and they're going to have some paperwork they need you to fill out. But
okay.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yep, thanks, man.
Yep.
And I'll, I guess, go to the front desk and fill out whatever paperwork I need to fill out.
Give me another persuasion check.
Okay. Okay. Looks like I'll be able to boost my persuade after all. That is a fail.
Okay, so when you were in there and you were telling him about the burner thing, like, he was really polite about it, but you got the impression that he thought you were full of shit.
Cool. Excellent.
Okay.
Well, I hope he doesn't hear about that arson that happened.
Yeah, so back at the station. Or, let's see, where's Tim? Or not Tim. Where's Simon right now?
I'm at the Spooner house.
Okay. So it's like coming up on lunchtime now. You're at the Spooner house. You're there with same couple of uniforms that you saw last night. There are a few firemen there as well. The truck is still out front. At this point, there's still a bit of smoke rising off of this thing, but the fire is out. The house is burned almost all the way down to the ground. And so it's like smoking rubble at this point.
Okay, so we've been here for a while though, and we're probably trying to comb through what we can at this point.
Yeah, and the firemen are telling you like, hey, it's, be careful if you're gonna walk over this stuff. There's a lot of this is still hot.
Right.
But yeah, as long as you don't mind the liability, you're welcome to walk around and look at this stuff.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. And I'm focused on the front door because that was like I'm looking around. I'm like, this place is in cinders. Like, there's nothing I can do with this. But if any of the front door is still intact, I want to see if there's any clues about what might have gone on. That was the only interesting tidbit I got. I'm not laser focusing on that because of metagaming reasons.
Yeah. So looking around, you don't see a lot here. Like the door being open thing is weird, but on the other hand, it was an arson, so maybe they went inside to set it on fire. The thing is, it's apparent to you that the fire started on the outside.
Sure.
So that doesn't really seem consistent.
No, it would make sense if they were trying to rob something from the place or remove something from the premises, so they would go in, try and grab it, and then set fire to the place from the outside.
But otherwise, the big pieces of furniture that you remember are still there. They're destroyed, but they're there. Like the armoire and the end table, there are bits of them that are still roughly in the same spot, standing in what's left of the garage. The kitchen appliances, some of the stuff, like the stove, in mangled form kind of survives, and same with the fridge and stuff like that.
You catch a faint whiff of delicious pizza rolls.
But you know better than to bite into them because you're sure they're really hot on the inside.
Right, exactly. You gotta be careful.
You do over the radio here. Detective Redding, we got a tip on the fire. Please call in.
Okay, I'm going over to my radio. I go, hey, this is Redding. You got a tip about that fire?
Yeah. Report from the hospital on someone that came in for a bad burn.
Okay, we got a name.
Yeah. It's Tim Bars.
Okay, fantastic. Did they say he's still at the hospital now?
No, he left some time ago, but anyway.
Okay, got it. And I just sigh and like at my I put my head in my hands. I'm like, oh my gosh, Tim, what have you done? Because he seemed a bit out of sorts when I spoke to him yesterday at O'Shamrocks, or last night or whenever it was. And so I don't know what to think, because I'm also, there's the angle of the interlopers here that they're my prime suspect still, but now Tim is wrapped up in this, and that's not good. So now I'm gonna, given that it doesn't look like I'm gonna get anything from the house, I'm gonna bounce at this point, and I'm gonna call Tim back at the number he provided. I'm gonna go home and do that.
Okay. So, well, do you drive to the station and then bike home, or?
No, I'm just gonna drive home.
Just drive home. Okay. Yeah. So you get home, and at this point, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
We'll grab a beer from the fridge, and then
Sure. Tim, what are you doing at that point?
I guess I'm also home, and I'm just kind of thinking about my life choices.
Okay.
I really hope Simon gets back to me soon, because this is not going well for me.
And sure enough, your phone rings.
Hello?
Tim.
Oh, Simon. Good.
No, it's not.
Boy, oh boy, do I have a lot of things to tell you.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
Yeah, we should meet up somewhere. Where do you wanna go?
The precinct.
Can we do it somewhere else?
No, you're gonna meet me at the precinct.
Okay, fine. All right, I'll meet you at the precinct. I'll head over now.
And I'm just like, I'm just like sighing, and I pound the rest of the beer. I get back in the car.
Okay, so what is Tim thinking right now? Like, what is going through your head?
Tim is thinking, this is not ideal that I have to be at the precinct, but I do have to talk to Simon. So, wish we could have done this somewhere else, but if this is the way it's got to be, this is the way it's got to be.
Okay, yeah, so 20 minutes later, you're both there. Simon, are you waiting outside for him?
No, I'm inside.
Okay. So, Tim, you park your bike and walk inside. So, is Simon, like, up at his desk, or is he waiting in the lobby?
I'm waiting in the lobby.
Okay, so it's Tim, you walk in the door and Simon is right there.
And I like just give you like a head shake of like, follow me.
All right, I follow.
Okay.
All right.
Where are you going?
We're just gonna go to my desk. Or how crowded is it?
I mean, there are people around. Like there will be people within earshot. It's a police station.
Then we're gonna go to interrogation 2.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Tim, you get led to an interrogation room.
I, really thought that I had a friend in Simon, and I'm less confident in that now. It feels like I'm being treated like a suspect.
Yeah, wow, that's so weird.
Yeah.
All right, and so I like sit him down, and I'm like, all right, listen, Tim, I'm not reading you your rights. Like, you're not under arrest right now, but you got to tell me what is going on. What did you do last night?
We were talking at Shamrocks, and I said I was going to go back to the house, and I did. And,
Right.
Yeah. It burned down, by the way. That wasn't me, but, you probably
I know
already
it
know
burned
about
down.
that. But
Tim says as he gestures with his burnt up hand.
Yeah.
Pus flying everywhere. As he says it.
Yeah.
It's like, I barely got out of there. But, dude, if that place there's something going on there. It's like haunted or something, for sure.
No, there's nothing going on there except smoke.
Well, I mean, yeah, now maybe, but there's I know this is gonna sound crazy, but there are things that you could only see in mirrors. There were people that were only there in reflections. I was in the garage, and there was nobody in the garage except me, but when I looked at the armoire in the mirror, I could see Arthur just like standing there. And there was a woman in that rocking chair.
Tim, have you been sleeping recently?
I actually did sleep a little bit this morning. I wasn't tired when I was at the house.
Tim, I don't think you see what I'm getting at. You're just seeing things just like Arthur did. There's probably like a methane leak in that house or something like that. All right?
So I do have a maybe solution to that. I took a picture of the rocking chair that the woman was in, but only in the mirror. And maybe when that film gets developed, you'll see then. You'll see.
Yeah, can't wait. Listen, what I really want to ask you about is, did you see who started that fire?
No. So I was upstairs, trying to talk to the rocking chair lady. She didn't respond to me. But when I came downstairs, the house, I could see that the house was on fire, and I just left. I burned my hand on the way out, but I didn't see anyone. It smelled
You
like
didn't
there
hear
was
any vehicles. You didn't.
I didn't hear any vehicles. It smelled like there was some gasoline. So, I mean, it definitely seemed like a deliberate house on firing.
Yeah, no, it was definitely arson.
Okay. But no,
Tim,
like, I didn't do it, though.
You see what's wrong here, right? Like, I told you not to go to that house. I told you you'd be breaking and entering into a crime scene. And I don't think you started that fire, but you know how bad this looks because you're the only one who is there that we know of.
Well, yeah, but you're the only one who knows about it. You don't have to tell anyone else.
Well, I'm not gonna right now, but
Cool.
But I got a tip about you. That's why I called you. Is that, hey, we just had a house burned down last night in a clearly arson case. Oh, and we just had a guy report to the hospital with a severe burn. And it's you.
Well, I didn't burn the house down. And if I hadn't gone there, then I never would have found out about the mirror stuff.
Oh, you wouldn't have had all these crazy visions and weird psycho experiences that you keep talking about.
Listen, I know what I saw. And you were going to come around eventually. You'll see it too.
I'm just shaking my head.
We just got to keep digging.
Yeah, that's going really well for us. Listen, I don't think I told you yet, there's other people looking into this, and I don't know who it is. Nobody does. Somebody came to the storage container after we did, and someone went to the apartment after we did, and they wiped the scene, took all the evidence.
So there is more to this.
Yeah, what you're talking about is fairies, and what I'm talking about is conspiracy. Those are two very different things.
Yeah, but like other people wouldn't be interested in this unless there was something more going on, right?
What, you think these are
My
ghost
logic
hunters?
is flawless.
No, your boss was wrapped up in something weird. Wouldn't be surprising if it was organized crime or something like that, based on all the stuff he had. That's what I think is going on here. He's wrapped up in something, and then someone else is trying to clean up his mess before we find it.
Okay,
I mean the police, not you.
I'm gonna take a gamble, and I'm just gonna take out my mirror right now and just see if anything's going on. Spooky mirror world.
Okay.
Because
Tim, what are you doing?
my Hail Mary is there's something right here that I can be like, see?
There's nothing in the mirror.
Yeah, there's no way there's
nothing
something
in
in here.
Yeah.
that just
There's nothing in the
wouldn't
mirror,
play.
and you look crazy.
Crazy. I'm like,
Tim.
that picture's gonna be developed at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Are you
You'll
seeing
see.
yourself in that mirror right now? You look like a straight up madman.
Yeah, well, I know what I saw.
I'm sure you do. All right, Tim, you need to go home, and you need to heal up, and you need to get some sleep.
Okay. And I'll slowly stand up and then shuffle out the door.
And he's walking backwards, just like Perseus in the Gorgon's cave.
Yeah.
He won't look where he's going. He's just looking through the mirror everywhere.
Okay, and with that, we will end today's session.
Oh boy.
Join us, not next week, right? I think we're busy next week.
Not the following week. Yeah, we're gonna have a 2-week
We're
break,
going
which means
to-
3
Wow,
weeks
what a
between
cliffhanger.
now and the next
It's really a
session.
3-week gap. Yeah, we're busy the next couple of weekends, super fans. So, but we will return. It's just work stuff. So, we will come back and do more episodes and stuff.
And I've
What a
hopefully got
conclusion.
a surprising, surprising fun project for some side stuff when we get back as well.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for listening.
Yeet.
Yeah.